Well, morning all. It's Wednesday. I had a heavy rain yesterday and didn't do a fat lot. I've only literally trimmed round the apple tree and trimmed a little few branches off that were going to poke me in the eye. I've done all the way up to that section there, which is the shed. As you can see, still got a few things to chop down here. It's a bit dodgy underfoot still, but I've got some boots on. So thank you, Carol. For size 10, plenty big enough. And as you can see, the shed roof really needs sorting somewhere along the line. Just got to mount this mountaineering course here. But I got up here. The fence is a bit rockety here, but that's the neighbours. I've no idea what they're doing down here. The shed has a tarpaulin on which is gone, literally, so it needs replacing. It wants proper felting, to be honest. So a bit squidgy underfoot. I don't know where these plastics come from, but it weren't here fairly recently, so I've no idea. Haven't got to that yet. There, it looks like it's come off that roof there and blown off, so it's going back up on there. I'm just going to go and get into that section here. So there you go. Very squidgy underfoot because there's lots of leaves from the oaks. There you go. That's it. Cheers, folks. Right, done a bit more. Made some commands there. These recycling bins or composting bins, they've got some bits and pieces in there that dry as anything, and they all could do with being refilled. There's plenty of leaf mulch around here. I've got to the shed door. Loads of leaf mulch from the oak and everything else, so I'm thinking of moving those if possible. I've still got quite a bit to do at this top end, and I was going to put the composting bins on this wall here because it's a shady bit basically and there's not much going on there, but anyway, that's neither here or there. Lots of bricks and stuff. All this has got to have a bit of a burn and a fire, but as you can see, starting to get a little bit more presentable. Could do with replacing that fence there, but as you say, it's come down to it when we need to. But as you can see, there's a big pile here which is in front of me. That's got to be burnt, but that will be dragged up to the top. Beautiful sunny spot there by the tree. But as you can see, it's still quite a lot to be done. It's still messy, but a day and a half of rain's not helped. But seen a couple of frogs actually, so it's some life in here. But as you can see, as long as I've knocked the brambles back, I'm not really too bothered. And if I can get a fire before the weekend, or Monday, Tuesday at the latest, I'll see how we go. But that's a great spot there. The tree's coming down Sunday, as I've said. I can't trim too much of this because that would allow too much access to the back garden and the house, so I'll just trim that back a little bit. Cheers, folks. Well, this is how not to felt a shed roof. They used a tarpaulin, which is might be alright for the time being, instead of just going and refelting the roof. But as you can see, with the tarpaulin wrapped round and underneath, it just collected water, and both sides now have rotten the last 12 inches or more at the end, to the extent of like it's caused more damage than it would have saved. So my advice to anybody, and as you can see here, you can see it's just nothing much there at all. So there you go. I don't want to get my camera too filthy, so I'm cutting the end off, planting another piece of timber here, which is good. There's a couple of run-ups here that I've got to try and sort out, which have gone, but I've only got 4 inch, so I've only got 4 inches. That's about right actually. Anyway, on a good day. Anyway, so I've got to do both sides, but the weather's a bit iffy, so I've got to get on with it anyway. Cheers, folks. Right, as you can see, I've went out and bought some more shiplap, put some on here, replaced these front sections which were rotten. I can only get plain timber. I wanted treated, but could only get what I can get, so there you go. I've still got a little bit of patching up to do here. I might be able to cut that out and just drop a couple of 4 inches in, but yeah, it's coming on. Once the roof's sorted out, I'll get a quick couple of rows of felt on and see how it goes from there. But it's just a patch up, and it should keep it going for another few years. That's all that matters, really. And stop the water from ingressing, as you can see. It's no good having a shed if it's full of water, is it? Okay, cheers, folks. Right, this is, as you can see, what I've done so far. Rain stopped playing the last few days, so it's not been very good at all. But there's still a lot of work to be done, which I haven't had time to do. So here's through the gate. Blue tits. Oh, sorry, yeah, blue tits in there. Creole grey tits. This is still the ironwork and metalwork for the rubbish man. Shed's gone, tree's gone. Not doing nothing with the lean-to, as I call it. There's a soakaway there, but can't do a lot about that. Cleared this area around here. The guttering needs all cleaning. Don't ask me what the box, whatever. A lot of rain. This part here where the shed was is going to be filled back with some soil, and my idea was just to put a membrane on and just buy a couple of ton of stone and just put a stone garden there, basically pots and stuff. As you can see, you can literally walk up the paths now, and you can see the paths, hopefully. And it's still very wet. I didn't have time to burn the stuff because of the white rain. But as you can see now, there's just piles of stuff ready to go to burn. Trim around the apple tree slightly. The vista now is that you can see the van, the tree's gone. I'll come to that in a minute. The greenhouse needs a good sort out. I haven't had time to do that, literally. I haven't stopped. Repaired the shed somewhat, as you can see. Felted the roof. It still needs some work in it, and on it it needs, I call it creosote. It needs a water inhibitor on there. I've only done as best as I can to try and keep it as dry as I can. It still leaves a little bit of work to be done, because there's some sections I've got to cut out and replace, but I won't have time. That's all the rubbish. So there's a hole here, as you can see. So this is just to try and stop some of the rain coming in. We've got to put a guttering on, which I suggested, so that'll be a priority when I come round to it. So this is the top of the garden. I've got all the compost bins here. They need emptying. There's very little in them, but I could do with raking some of these leaves and stuff up and putting in, because the oak come under. Oh, he's going to drop all its leaves soon. But there's the view to the house. There you go. This is the other path, as you can see. So all the paths are done. This will make a nice leaflet to mould here. But once again, I don't know whether I'm going to get time because it's Tuesday at the moment. There you see that they are big trees there. So it just needs restructuring a little bit, but I've done what I can. And all this is just a bit of covering. Try and keep that dry over the next few months. Whether I'll get back or not this year, I don't know. But it should be dried back, and for bonfires or whatever. I don't know what Lorraine wants to do. So there you go. I'm going to walk round the fuchsia. which will need sort of trimming. And there you have it. So I'll walk you down this path. So it's a lot better. As you can see, there's a couple of broken panes that need changing. There's a couple of spare ones in the shed. Once again, I haven't really got a lot of time to do that. But there you go. But that's the least of my worries. Apple tree looks not too bad. I'd like to trim that before spring next year and take some of the top off. Keep the scaffolding poles. They're aluminium actually. So that might be useful one day. And there you can see where the tree was. I'm not going to walk over there. I've tied it up as best as I can, but there you go. That's it's still quite a bit to do, but as you can see, you can actually walk around the garden, and I'm happy with that so far. Cheers. Love you all, and you know who you are. This is the view from the upstairs window. So as you say, big garden, and those are big oaks. So there you go. That's about all on there. Only a little bit of titubation now, and that's about it. Cheers all.